you were 18, did you know what you wanted to do with your life?
Banging question. When I was 18, did I know what I wanted to do with my life? I'm really not too sure to directly answer it yet. I would say, though, that my clarity now, especially after reading certain books or hundreds of them, and the experience of 48 years and like living my dream, not just living by default, not like choosing not to work, like doing a lot of things that a lot of people didn't do, choosing to ride a bicycle 1,400 miles when I was like
Gnarly,
30.
by the way. Yeah,
You know, by myself with like, some would say no training, like just doing jobs that I love, like traveling, going to around the world where I love, Costa Rica for 3 months, Jamaica for months, Cali for months, just doing things that I love. And like, yeah, there's definitely been some challenging times. Like, it's not about not having problems yet. And like, I think of Earl Nightingale in The Stranger's Little Secret, and he said that, and many people have said something like this: 90% of people don't have a goal, like 99 really. And that's why he's saying that most people are like broke and unsatisfied, and only 1% of people really like, or 10% are like living their dream. And the thing is living your dream is pretty easy. We just have to intentionally know what our dream is. A lot of people have been taught this nightmare, and they keep focus on it, thinking and believing that they have to do it.
The question:
Yeah.
do we create our dreams, or do we let it just like life happen, like toward like for us? You
See,
know,
I like that you're saying that. That's a beautiful question.
I could have worded better, but like
No,
that's how
that's
I'm feeling,
perfectly
and like
worded.
my life, and like those two questions right there is like all
Yeah.
I need to know. You know,
I mean,
I'm by the way, I'm 17 years old. In less than a month, I'm gonna be 18, turning 18. You know, so it's a great experience to be in right now as a young entrepreneur and just figuring out life, figuring out right. But we'll see in a few years. But
100%.
please let
Yeah, man. I
sorry.
mean, the only like uh, accepting of life there is the to live the dream life and not a nightmare, is the non-attachment to our dreams, and that helps them happen. When we realize that our dreams and manifestation are in our imagination first and foremost, and that our what we see is a projection of our imagination. That may sound like a lot, yeah. Either we have two choices: either we live dominantly in our imagination, or we live dominantly in our senses. And when we live in our senses, we end up living by default, which is kind of what I like hear when I say just like let life happen. We end up living by default and living another person's dream, another person's design, specific design in life. We're a worker at McKee we're working at Disneyland, we're a manager at a dealership, whatever it is. It could be really high end. Yet if it is not your design that you're designing, then you're living by default. And we design a little. We're always designing a little bit, living in our imagination. Sometimes we let our senses deceive us, or the programming of others saying, you got to do this, you got to work like crazy hours, you got to work hard, like you kind of got to be miserable, you know, for a good amount of time before you're happy. Like, that may be true for that person, it definitely is true, but for you, you create your own reality with your imagination. So when you have a clear intention, and we're talking about this, and I wanted to record it because, like, breaking down this here, right? A clear intention. A lot of people don't even understand what that really means. Like,
and now they're about to. So tune in.
tune in.
Yes.
So I like the way it was organized when I was teaching in college for a decade, total wellness, and it broke down 8 dimensions of wellness. So simple yet so beautiful for me. Do you understand what 8 dimensions of wellness would be?
Please
Have you
tell
ever
me.
heard of that?
I'm about to.
Okay, so we got what most of us would think, right? Physical, mental, spiritual, right? Yet there's also emotional.
Telepathic.
Emotional is like our emotional poise, right?
I'm curious.
These are just basic
telepathic
ones.
or no?
Telepathic might be under like emotional poise, emotional wellness, or mental wellness.
Okay.
Right. It's more measured on like, are we in good mental? Like, is our mental health to the point where it's at a higher level, right? Where we feel good, right? Is our physical well at a high level where we feel good, or is at a low level where we have sickness? Do we have health or sickness, mental health or sickness, physical health or sickness, right? Spiritual health or sickness. And spiritual isn't like I'm going to church. It means that you believe that there's a higher power, that you are in touch with your spiritual self, and that means different things to different people. Yet it was amazing to see the studies though, that when people are spiritually dedicated to a higher power, whether it's in an organized religion or not organized religion, they actually add like decades to their life, and they like 10 years easy to their life, and they there's studies where with HIV they'll live like 8 years longer having spiritual wellness.
So it's their belief systems and identity. It's the identity that they just put on over the years. So
it's really it's
like
really
that's how I see it. Me personally,
Yeah,
it's all about identity and who you want to become, and like if for the people that are working towards a goal that they have put down and they just want to like get it done, they will, or they're going to adapt the characteristic traits that they're going to need to be that person, and that's what manifestation is in my opinion.
100%. Well,
taking the identification and like the belief system and knowing, not just like believing, but knowing is like the most powerful. So take that for what it is and go with life. That's it.
Yeah, belief builds behavior, and with that example of someone like living longer, it correlates to me perfectly with the non-attachment, right? Because when someone's living longer or healing quicker because of the belief that they're going to a better place and that God will take care of them when they die, that creates a non-attachment to a holding on of like this goal of life and living longer and being like a certain way, that anyway is okay, that I'm living, that all life is precious. And that's usually embedded within spirituality. That's why spiritual wellness is really like they're a chain of wellness, and if one is weak, then that whole link will break. And it's also a chain of goal setting, right? That's why I'm bringing it up. If you set goals with physical wellness, with mental wellness, with spiritual wellness, whether that's like reading a book or going to church or being with people that like have a good spiritual outlook, and then you have emotional wellness and environmental wellness and social wellness and monetary wellness and occupational wellness. So when you start to understand that, your goal setting becomes way more specific and intentional. For example, I'm going to make $1 million a year. That's monetary, cool, but what's the occupation like that would bring you joy to do every day, that makes your life a dream by design, not living by default because you're clear about what your intentions are, without so much attachment towards that goal, especially because you have 8 dimensions of wellness to kind of cycle through. Like, oh, my finances are a little low, and it doesn't seem that like anything I'm doing physically is helping. Like, I'm not going to just work 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours and sacrifice my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, my social wellness just for that one monetary thing. And it's not building to my occupational wellness. It's actually destroying it, because if you work that much, you might not love it after a while. Yet If you're really focused and you're doing something you love and you could put in 12 hours for, you know, 5 or 10 years, and it's really intentional, and you have a mentor and you know every move matters and counts, then that may be dope. As long as you have this feeling, emotional wellness again, of like love and gratitude for every moment. And that's the biggest thing I can say. That's the biggest thing I say. I don't want to hear what you're going to say. Let me say this one statement: is if your emotional goals, which I think is the best like hierarchy, most valuable goals to put as a priority, is emotional goals. If your emotional goal is to feel love and gratitude, happiness, joy, willingness, acceptance, and forgiveness at all times, because the story you tell yourself over and over again and translate what you see into your brain, which you're always doing. You don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind. So we're telling stories constantly, and either the story you're telling yourself about what's happening is uplifting you or destroying you.
Facts. I completely agree.
So like just completely tell yourself stories that uplift you constantly, and be intentional about that circle of 8 goals or more if you'd like, but 8 dimensions of wellness. My Lord, like there's nothing better. Using your imagination, being intentional. Expectation is another superpower, like knowing that it's going to happen, right?
I would like to go into simplicity real quick,
Yeah.
because it's the little things that we do every single day. Like for my brother Keith and I, we exercise about a few times a week, you know. So it's like every other day we train, and today, or we haven't trained yet, but are we going to? We're going to train, bro?
I didn't train it. It's handstand day.
Oh yeah, it was handstand day. I haven't ran because it's been foreign, but yeah. But sorry about that. Getting into simplicity, bro. It's the little things. Making your bed, cleaning your room, sweeping getting your dishes done, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, and those little like habits. I would say just starting your mornings out. It's a game changer. You know?
Yeah, the ritual. Yeah, the ways that I would describe best to create a goal, although it would get. It would. Did I just take that over?
No, it's the Bluetooth.
You know what? Turn that off just in case it took over this thing.
Yes, sir.
That's it. You don't have to hold it.
Battery 70%.
Turned it on again.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. All right, so the way to create a goal, and we'll wrap it up here, is number 1, the emotional goal. Like, what emotions would you like to feel most of the time, and what emotions would you like to let go of? That doesn't mean you're never going to experience them. Like, if you resist a negative emotion, it will persist. Feel that sadness, feel that anger. Anger is usually an evaluation of right or wrong. A lot of our problems come from thinking there's a right or wrong and condemning ourselves. That's why Christ would say, like, there's no that's why it was said that there's no condemnation with Christ. Condemnation, criticism, complaining, these all are similar aspects of fear. The Bible also said, fear not more than any other repeated phrase. And that's an emotion. And it's either like love or fear. And when we tap into that emotional poise of being able to embrace love with the story we tell ourselves, you could do that most of your life. All other goals kind of pale in comparison, because everything we do is to change our mood or because we feel like it. Either we feel like doing it or we feel like changing how we feel. That's why we will do drugs. That's why we will, like, you know, run. We want to feel that running. We want to feel healthy.
We want to be physically and mentally well. So we do things that will like impact our life for the positive. So
100%. And we may like run to immediate sense, like feeling instant gratitude, right?
Instant gratitude. For example,
instant
the almond dates. I ate 2 of them. That was an impulse the other day. I was like, I just quick snack real quick for real, you know. So
instant gratification. It's funny that if we go to instant gratitude, it's actually easier than instant gratification.
Yes,
like
100%.
Giving thanks for what we have already is the greatest way to get more. Like it has been said that those that have shall be given more, those that have not, the little they have will be taken away. And you have by feeling it first. In your imagination, you feel. Like you don't feel by the outer world really of our senses. Like we think sometimes that we're gonna feel better by having more stuff,
Okay, then after feeling like
better relationships, more money. All of that will not change. Outer reform is useless without inner reform. Neville Goddard.
after that act, what do you do next?
After what act? What do you mean?
Or after believing it, the
Oh, okay. Once you believe it, you'll get all the mental nudges. You'll get all the intuition. You'll get all the info. You'll start like, if your belief is you're an athlete, you're gonna start doing athlete. You're gonna drink more water. You're gonna do all these things. You're gonna get mentally pushed to do it if you truly believe you are that. If you believe you're a hard worker, like it's gonna take a while to stop you from working X amount of hours a day or putting the hours you do work at work in to be really excellent and pay off. It, you know,
identity. Bro.
if you believe you're like broke and things are hard and the government's against you,
right
like,
there, snap your fingers. Identity shift.
it's gonna
Believe
be really
in yourself
challenging.
and take a deep breath. Know that it's all right.
And that's exactly also how we change our emotional poise, is not only feeling the feeling of the agony and being okay with it, not resisting it, yet going into deep breathing, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am. Be still. And when you start to be still or meditate, sit there and do nothing, and you could really start to self-talk yourself, because we're always chanting, we're always self-talking, you're always in a mantra. These words may be new to you, but you know what self-talk is. We're consistently, if not constantly, talking to ourselves. Is it negative or positive? Because most studies show 80% of people talk to themselves 80% of the time negatively. 95% is repetitious because you're building neural pathways in your brain. So it may seem hard in the beginning, but it's really easy. Once you build that neural pathway, you do it for like 1 minute. Sit still and feel the negative emotion, and then feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you start to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled, again, your intentions, you're creating your dreams, and you start to feel, meaning you see a scene of yourself like on your yacht and like you're doing your job that you love, whatever it is, or at your farm or in your white picket fence, whatever your dream is, with whoever it is. Yet it's not as vital that you see it, it's that you feel it. That it's so real of an image that you feel it in your imagination and you start to feel amazing. Some people are guilty just to do that. They don't want to even feel that feeling of goodness in their imagination. They're guilty. They don't think they deserve it. They're going to get let down. They think that, expect for the worst. Like that creates more of what you don't want. So when we start to do this emotionally, everything else comes in line. Second is like, what habits would I like to build? Those habits will come to you once you have your emotional poise. Yet thinking like, oh, like when I was young, when I was 17, what were some things that I was thinking like, man, I had very little. It really took towards I started to learn about health. I did want like social friends. So I wanted friends. Man, I was kind of lost. That's why I do like teach about health a lot, because sometimes our brain doesn't even work proper because we have so little sleep, so little nutrition, so little movement. I had like zero of those three. My physical health, I didn't have spiritual health really. I didn't really, practice anything. Think there was like a higher power. I don't remember. And environmental health, emotional health, like I had so little of it, I didn't even know it existed.
And once you became aware, or what age did you become aware, and like
it was very shortly after that.
the shift of